Rec Room is shutting down. Not dying, not falling off, and not losing players. The game is actually dying. One of the biggest social platforms for VR is now gone. And for a lot of people, that sounds literally impossible. How? Because Rec Room wasn't just some game you play for a week and then forget about it. For years, Rec Room has felt like one of the games that you can actually express yourself. Hello, my name is Denzel, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the sad announcement about Rec Room shutting down. And before we continue with this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe. We're almost at 300 subscribers. Now, let's continue with the video. You can hop on with friends, play dodgeball, make stupid custom rooms, meet random people, or just waste hours doing absolute nothing. It was messy, it was chaotic, and very much annoying. But all that put together is what made the game so special in many people's hearts. That was the charm of the game, and one of the most recognizable social platform games is now going out in the most depressing way possible. So, what happened? How did Rec Room, one of the biggest social games out here that VR has ever created, is now shutting down? It doesn't make any sense. And now, it's just another story about how another big platform is disappearing. And this is the truth. Rec Room didn't just die overnight. It was a years-long process. When Rec Room first came out in 2016, it already felt completely different from most VR titles. So at the time, VR was like at this weird state that like people were really excited to play, but there weren't really any games to play. And the games that were able to play, they weren't even that fun. You play it for like about 20 minutes and then like just stop playing it, because most VR games at the time felt more like a demo than an actual full game. Like the game was cool for a bit, but not a game that you can build your whole life around. And Rec Room was one of the first VR games to understand something very important. You didn't need the best graphics or all the content updates. You just needed a place where people can just hang out. That was its magic, and a place where people can just meet new people. And it blew up because it was a social game that felt natural. It didn't feel forced. Like, you didn't have to interact with the people because you wanted to engage with others. Because of the rise of VR content on YouTube, that made Rec Room perfect. It was chaotic and funny and full of moments that people will sit down and actually watch. Then came the biggest turning point that changed this game forever. Rec Room Let's VR, and this was honestly huge. People from Xbox, PlayStation, even if you had a mobile phone, you can use Rec Room. But if you had a screen that can run iOS and Android, you can play Rec Room. And that honestly just boosts the player count by like tenfold. And suddenly with this new change, Rec Room just wasn't some generic VR game anymore. It was something different. It was a social platform. And on paper, you would think that would guarantee this game's future. More players, more creators, more money, and especially more reach to the mainstream. And at first, it looked like Rec Room had won. This is where you saw cracks in the fortress. Because the thing that helped Rec Room blow up to such a mainstream VR game would have maybe also ruined what made this game so special to so many people. When you hear older players talk about this game, at some point they say the same thing. At one point, Rec Room just stopped feeling like Rec Room. Like, here's the thing, the game was still there, servers are still up, player count was still surging, and the community was growing every single day. So, what do they mean? And what they mean by this, it's gonna sound funny, but the vibe of the game just completely just felt different. And when Rec Room expanded outside of VR, which was amazing, I love that by the way, that's how I first got into Rec Room. When that change led to more kids joining, met a younger audience. And with that younger audience, they can sometimes be rowdy because at the end of the day, they're kids. Like, so they're gonna act out. And so for a lot of people, they felt overstimulated in some creative maps. And once a chill-driven community has now transformed into something chaotic and out of Rec Room's control. And to be fair, that is legit a part of Rec Room's charm, the chaoticness. And as a kid who used to play Rec Room a lot, like I used to live for the chaos. I love the chaos so much. It was so much fun. Like, every session felt different from the last. Like, you had that chase of having a better session than the one that you had yesterday. I was addicted to Rec Room. Like, when I tell you, I use this all the time. I used to be on this headset. This headset's old. Like, I don't know how many years old this headset is, but I used to play Rec Room on this exact VR headset for years. Like, oh my gosh, I loved Rec Room. This is where one of the biggest issues came along, and you'll be surprised what it was. It was the monetization. Once a social game starts feeling more like a storefront, people will notice, dude. Rec Room pushed way harder on tokens, creative monetization, and paid systems. And on paper, none of that's bad. It's actually a good thing if you really think about it. If people get paid to make good quality maps, then more people are gonna create maps, which makes a better experience for everyone on Rec Room. But the thing is, with this change, it changed how the way the game felt to most people. Because instead of feeling like a fun place where you could just mess around, it felt like everything had to be content, everything had to be monetized, everything had to be cleaner and more profitable. And the more the game tried to become more bigger, cleaner, and more profitable, the more it started to lose its scrappy nature that made people love this game in the first place. And honestly, that's the problem with most online games. They don't die because of one big giant cataclysm. They die because it slowly starts to feel less and less worth it to come back. At one point, Rec Room just stopped feeling like a game that people can just join and have fun and make crazy builds. It honestly started to feel like a company that was trying to become the next big platform. And once that happens, that's dangerous, because live service games live by community trust and die by community trust. Because once players feel like they're being managed instead of being understood, the relationship completely changes. Because Rec Room just wanted to be something bigger than a VR hangout spot. It wants to be a creator's economy, a metaverse, and a long-term digital platform. And for investors, you wouldn't think that's a bad thing. But for players, a lot of them just felt like the game was drifting away of what made this game so special to them. And this happens all the time with internet platforms. A company makes something authentic that people love, that people spend their hard-earned money on. They spend many hours on this game emotionally. Then a company tries to sanitize it, scale it, make it more profitable. And by the time they realize they're squeezing the soul out of this game, it was already too late. The game kept updating, kept expanding, and kept trying to evolve. But the more it drove away from the just jump in and have fun kind of identity, the harder it became to ignore the cracks. And eventually, those cracks became almost impossible to hide. And by this time, players seriously started to ask, is Rec Room dying? Now, to be fair, in most communities, there's gonna be a point where people are gonna say, this game is dead, or is this game dying? Like, you see this all the time with games like Roblox and Fortnite. They say this all the time, but the game isn't actually dying. And for a lot of people, they thought Rec Room was gonna be okay, because we hear this all the time in other communities. So why Rec Room? Why should it be any different? But here's the thing, it was different, because this game got the title of being washed, and once a game gets called washed, it literally does not matter how much a game grows, they will still be calling washed and fell off. People to this day keep on saying that Fortnite has fell off, which it hasn't. It's like, oh my gosh. But the thing was, the hype for this game was completely gone. And for a game that once felt like a digital playground, now it feels like it's trying to survive off its scraps. Then came the layoffs and the financial pressure. And then eventually the announcement came out that Rec Room was shutting down. And to be honest, when I first read this, I read this during April 1st. So I thought it was like some mean April Fool's joke until they said, yeah, it's really over. And then I'm like, nah, they're trolling me. Until I seen that they posted on their YouTube, I was like, no, this game is actually done. Like, it's actually over. And that is so depressing. Like, so depressing. I spent so much time on that game, and it's like, it's gone. They're gonna, like, it's done. I can't even imagine for the people that spent so much money on this game, dude, and now this game is basically shutting down. and it's gone forever and it's not coming back. And the reason why people care so much that Rec Room is shutting down, not because they like the game, because this game holded memories that most games couldn't. Like, when a single player game dies or shuts down, you just lose a product. Well, it's okay, I don't really care. But when a live service games goes away, we're like, oh my god, it's like, it feels completely different. It's completely different. Like, it feels like when a social game dies that was really popular for people, even if it was like a subgenre in that game, it feels like someone in your family just died. And yes, I know that's like an extreme take. Imagine it like this. Rec Room. Imagine Rec Room's your best friend. You guys made memories together. You guys cried with each other. You guys laughed at each other. You guys just, made so many memories. And you thought that that game was gonna be there with you forever. But then suddenly, they got sick. And you thought, with that sickness, just give it some time. They'll be better in the future. But they slowly start to get worse and worse and worse. And then eventually, they die. And it just hits you. Because that game was doing fine last week, and now this game is gone. Dead. And yes, I know that was an extreme take, but I just wanted to let you guys know how some players, felt in this moment. So that's why shutdowns like this hit so different. Because it's not just a random software. It's a whole era. An era that just closed its chapters. It's done now. And honestly, the death of Rec Room just speaks a lot for the future of live service games that are just like Rec Room. A lot of modern games aren't built to last emotionally, they're built to last financially, and there's a big difference between the two. Games used to become memorable by accident, but now companies are trying to engineer engagement in a lab. Everything has to be monetized, everything has to be up to scale. But once growth slows down, just by a little, that whole platform just falls on its head completely because it wasn't built to last emotionally. Because if a game like Rec Room, one of the biggest ballers in the VR community, what does that say for more VR games in the future that are just like Rec Room? What does that say? Because Rec Room won't be the first game to go out like this, and it for sure will not be the last. But this is a clear example of how hard it is to keep an online game alive once the business side starts overpowering the human side of it. At its best, Rec Room was one of the most funniest, weirdest, and most chaotic VR game out there. And at its worst, it's a good example of what happens once creativity can stretch a little bit too far to become a forever platform. Maybe that's why this shutdown just stings so much for people like you and me. Because the thing is, the idea behind Rec Room was not even a bad idea. If anything, the idea was too freaking good. It was a free online game that you can hang out and talk to different people and make your own creative islands. It was really, really cool. There were a lot of games like this before Rec Room, but Rec Room just took all those and just made it into something way more special. That should last forever. But like a lot of internet spaces, it didn't. And now, Rec Room will join that long list of names that died. And people will still talk about this game years from now, saying the exact same thing. You just have to be there. This is the end of the video, and if you had any memories about Rec Room, don't be afraid to drop them down in the comments below. I will read them all, no matter how long, how short they are. I will read them all, because I just want to hear your guys' story with this game, because this game was so special to people like you and to people like me. So, don't forget to subscribe, because we're so close to 300. I'm telling you, 300 subscribers. We got this. So, to the next video. Rest in peace, Rec Room, and bye.